an Arizona Lotus Corp radio station. Listen online at KFMA.com. You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Tuesday, January 10th. Good morning, Rico.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. Good morning, Tucson. Day 2, 2023 is underway, jam-packed with a show you might know and love. It's Beef Vegan Presents. We got Tucson Games and Gadgets in the studio a little bit later on, resuming Tap Out, where you can win up to $100 in gift certificates to Tucson Games and Gadgets. They've been getting a lot of great press lately. I don't know if you noticed this, Rico. There's been a couple viral reels, and they were just on the cover of Tucson Weekly for the Short Rest Tavern. So the secret is out. The Short Rest Tavern is inside the Tucson Mall, where you can drink mead, beer, and all this stuff. It's actually one of the coolest niche bars in all of Tucson. And, now people are talking about it. And, while I was on Christmas break, I had several people send me a viral reel of the Short Rest Tavern that was made by some girl. And I think you were one of them, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we're like, damn it. She did this pretty good. Now, Rico outreels most of them. This girl was on it, though, and she made her reel pretty appealing. What would you grade her reel from being like an expert reel maker yourself?
It was a 7.
Ooh, a 7. Okay.
But it was also a female voice, and that helps.
Yeah.
I gotta start talking like a girl from now on.
Yeah, well, I mean, you actually talk extra lower when the microphone's on. So have you been practicing your feminine voice just to increase the views?
No, I think I'm just sick.
No, okay. Well, that's good. It's going around, just another sick person around me that I have to avoid. Speaking of being viral, though, we are officially viral on our Instagram page.
This live studio audience does not know how to behave.
No, they get rowdy. Our Christmas video, our Christmas story video clip that I put on the Beef Vegan post is getting me so many likes consistently. Every time I check my Instagram, I have another 5 to 10 likes. So that thing is like burning up. It's got a life of its own right now. And if you haven't seen it, it's essentially just a fentanyl joke. But the woman who we were talking to in the clip, I think is the real star there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And so people just keep liking away because this lady who's just gobbling up this ice cream cone like she owes it money stopped to somewhat talk to me, but at the same time would not swallow the ice cream in her mouth. So it's a nice, funny little clip as part of this, on the street segment that we did before we hit vacation. And so I made little clips of it and post on social media and do these reels. And this thing's at like 15,000 views and growing, man. It's like I said, it's a life of its own.
We need to find that lady.
Yeah,
I know. Need to find her. Every video we do from now on has to have her on the side eating ice cream, commenting.
Well, I searched to OnlyFans. I couldn't find her page, but I'm sure it's there somewhere.
Ice cream gilf.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Ice cream gilf, dude. For those of you who are big college football fans, you were probably underwhelmed by the national championship yesterday, unless you were a Georgia fan, as Georgia just laid down a whooping in their second back-to-back. Or I'm sorry, I'm saying this incorrectly, but in a back-to-back title for the Georgia Bulldogs, they won 65-7. So the 7 was like a courtesy touchdown. Like, here you go.
Yikes!
You get one because we don't want to goose egg you on a national stage. But it was brutal, and it was trending on Twitter last night. Pretty much after the first 5 minutes, they're like, "Well, this game is over." So I don't know if that helps for ratings, but congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs. Second national championship.
And congrats to whoever had the spread on that.
Right.
Good Lord.
There's tons of memes, people betting the other way, going for TCU, and that didn't really pay off for them at all. And in other news locally here, this is something that's been happening since COVID. It's they call it street takeovers. Have you seen any of these? Because you live on the east side.
No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean,
Enlighten
and
me.
you get home late on the weekend, so you be on the lookout for these street takeovers. Now, every generation kind of has a thing, like and I'm talking about teenagers as far as a meetup and a way to party and hang out. Now, in the '80s, it was cruising. Cruising was a big thing. I remember, and it was before my time, so I was just a kid growing up in the Phoenix area, but around Metro Center Mall and Central Avenue were the two hot cruising spots. Now, so this is even before your time, Rico. This is what our parents would do, right? They would, I assume, drink and smoke weed, and then drive very slowly around in circles while hollering at people on the street. Whether it just booty calling or talking smack, fights would break out. It would be full blown chaos. It got to the point where Metro Center, just like any mall, has a little road that's surrounds it, right? It's a little circle. So they would drive around in circles. So Metro Center put up these metal gates to be able to block off the road to prevent cruising after a while. And then kids developed other things like, desert parties, things like that. Well, now because of times of COVID in Tucson, the streets get all fast and furious and they do these street takeovers where essentially you'll get a bunch of cars blocking an entire intersection. And then in the middle of the intersection, cars will do donuts and get all wild, right? And this has been happening again for a couple of years, and it continues to grow. And it's been, of course, concerning residents and authorities. They just cited 5 people over a street takeover that happened on Saturday. And I don't know what they're going to do to stop it, but that's the trend right now. So the only thing that you can do if you're driving the streets of Tucson, if you see a bunch of cars kind of blocking off an intersection, make a right and go the other way.
Seriously.
Yeah. And also keep your head on a swivel because, they're going to be racing. And that's where the danger comes in handy, right?
Is it 2002 again with Fast and Furious? Like, is that a new thing?
That's what it is. It seems like somebody in the crew, some leader, right? Because it's always about somebody who takes the initiative to be like, hey, I got an idea. Yeah. And then the followers take suit, right? So some leader got a Fast and Furious box set or binged it on, whatever streaming service and said, you know what, that seems badass.
I'm a Toretto.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a Toretto. So we are getting fast and furious on the streets of Tucson. And this is the thing, like I said, I'm talking about now, but I've seen about 10 different instances. Thank you. Both on TMZ Tucson and of course reported on a couple local websites as well that the street takeovers are the thing that kids are doing.
It'd be smart.
What's that?
If they had these street takeovers, but instead of having just blocking traffic and making people mad, actually coordinate with a food truck to be there at a certain time.
Now
that way I can park and eat. Enjoy the race.
That would be nice. Yeah,
right.
yeah. But then you got to get involved, like permits involved. I mean,
no, you don't.
I understand. Okay, if you want to be gangster
just
with
scurry away with everybody else.
The food truck better be able to make that food fast then, because they got to be able to at least bang out 20 servings before the cops come. The cops
charge 40%
pretty quick. Yeah, so I don't know if that's a brilliant idea, Rico. Yeah. All right. Well, keep trying. We'll go back to the drawing board and see what happens. Maybe we could organize Beef Vegan Presents Street Takeover. Trying to connect with these kids, man.
Yeah, dude.
All right, we got your morning moron coming up after Giovanni and the Hired Guns. We'll kick things off on this Tuesday morning with the mighty Foo. Here's Learn to Fly, Rock 102.1 KFMA. You know the name of the show. Let's go. All right, pretty good intro this morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast broadcast. Jeff said the parking lot where the old Kmart used to be off of Broadway and Kolb had people drifting in it all the time. I'm going to show you a video here, both of you guys, because after we talked about this, we opened up the show talking about the street closures that the kids are doing, right? And immediately after I saw that, or after we talked about this, I went to TMZ Tucson and I saw a video that they posted last night in the parking lot of Ross and Albertsons on Campbell and Glen. And I'm like, that's right down the street from my house. That's my Ross. Yeah, that's my fucking Ross, man. These kids are up in my Ross right now.
How dare
They're doing this shit. And it also scares me because, and good morning, Shane. It also scares me because I have a teenage daughter. So I know that she's going to end up going to one of these things. And I hope it's later rather than sooner. But she has to be careful because check out this shit. This just happened. TMZ Tucson just posted this. This happened last night Campbell and Glenn, after I talked about, or even before I talked about the KOLD write-up about the citations that the cops are giving out to these kids blocking off intersections to do this shit. Now, it's kind of dumb. As we get older, we realize, okay, cool. You could do a donut. That's great. You could do like a little burnout. Oh, that's so awesome. Your penis must be huge and amazing, right? So this is what happens when you think you know, you think you're Dale Earnhardt, but you're not. Okay, check this out. You see my Ross right there? Now wait. Okay, now also here's a PSA for any teenagers watching this podcast broadcast later on. Don't stand too close to the car show. Oh, yeah. Oh, is right. I see. Oh, look at it.
Hell.
Got rocked. Got rocked, right? Yeah, I don't
I
know.
thought she was doing the Maximus. Like, are you not entertained?
Well, I think she got entertained real quick. So, yes,
yeah.
don't forget to speak into that mic. Let's see. Rock 102.1 KFMA. We're on the podcast broadcast. We got Shane from Tucson Foodie in studio. Good morning, Shane.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you, too. I know that you have a lot of stuff going on. And coming up next, we always like to give a heads up to our listeners out there. Kind of, show them around town. So this list that TucsonFoodie.com posted is perfect to give a heads up for people who are looking to take someone on a first date and impress them. There's 10 fun spots to meet up for a first date. Tucson Foodie posted this. We're going to break down our favorite 5 right after POD's live. So keep it right here for that. It's or you can join us on the conversation and videos and viral videos, stuff that we share on the podcast right now. YouTube.com/beefvegan. What a hell of a tease, huh, Rico?
I know, that was great.
Clear. All right. So
So teased right now.
yeah. I'm just like,
Just whatever.
yeah.
Beef, are these things you want me to say on the air?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
prompts for me. Great.
Absolutely. And then we'll direct the rest of the people, like I said, to the website. So that's the goal. Try to.
Thanks for writing my script for me, buddy.
No worries.
It
That's
was AI.
I'd
It
be
wasn't
happy to
him.
prepare this kind of stuff if you tell me in advance. I'll write the scripts. You don't have to do that kind of work for me.
well, I appreciate. Well, that was all copy and paste, so not a big deal. Yeah.
Oh, this is the article we wrote.
Yeah. So
Word for word.
I would give credit to
Never
your
mind.
writer on this. Her name is I think Lauren.
Teresa.
Was it Teresa? Yeah. So I would definitely give her credit before we plagiarize her work.
He's like, I right clicked, I hit Control C. It was real easy.
Hey man, you
You
know,
gotta do what you gotta do.
it's a nice presentation.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Good formatting.
yeah. In fact, actually, I could show you guys real quick. I'm kind of proud of it.
Indentation.
Yeah, I made it to where it was easy to read, follow along, and little blurbs. The pictures aren't included, unfortunately. But we can go to Tucson Foodie. In fact, actually, I will pull up Tucson Foodie so we can see it.
.gov.
Yeah. .net.
Yeah.
.net.
How was your New Year's? Good.
It was chill. You? Did you do anything? Actually, I went to the Jackrabbit Lounge party.
Oh yeah, you went to that. See, I didn't get to do anything because my girlfriend was sick, so I just ate some psilocybin chocolates and watched movies.
I had psilocybin on that evening as well, but it was in some honey.
Ooh,
Nice.
okay, nice. And how are you in public when you have a little psilocybin dose? Does it give you
Well,
anxiety?
This was my first time.
What?
I took
Whoa.
it casually, and I think it was an incredibly low dose because I didn't really notice a feeling.
Okay, nice. You were just kind of smiling and enjoying yourself. Did you find yourself kind of feeling like, I don't know, you were getting like knots on the inside or feeling, because I feel like,
No.
okay, well then, yeah, you're good.
Light, dreamy, flirty.
Right?
Felt
Okay.
good. Yeah. But
Nice.
next time I do it, it's going to be a full ego dissolution hero trip.
Yes, you
know what I'm
have
saying?
to. But
Terrence
that's
McKenna style.
that is not a public bar hopping type of scenario, though. Just a heads up. Yeah, that's
Mask.
more stay in the
Mask.
nature,
Yeah.
have some fresh air,
Have a
some trees
guide,
around you,
Spiritual
stars.
guide with me.
Not some guy at a Circle K asking about God and
Right.
different things.
Yeah, but a shaman would be good.
Shaman.
For a while there, I thought it was somewhat of a hallucinogenic shaman for my friends. And then the power got to my head and it was bad. So I had to take a step back. So
Yikes.
I felt like I can control people's trips. It was not good. It was during that big LSD heyday of the mid 90s. You had to be here to know what it is. Maybe some of you streamers know what I'm talking about, but during the mid 90s, there was just this boom of acid everywhere, all different types of it. right? You're talking tabs, gel tabs, drops,
Angel
whatever.
dust back in the day.
No, I'm talking about acid. Stay in your lane. So, well, we got 10 seconds. So the end of that, but it was everywhere and it was super cheap. And for a while there, I was legally insane. Now I'm illegally insane. So I evolved. Here we go. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're hanging out here with Shane from Tucson Foodie, of course, Rico in studio as well. And we want to give a rundown. And this is a good list for you too, Rico. So if you meet a pretty lady, you want to take her out on the first date, these are some spots around town. They're almost like hidden gems, right? When you went through this list, Shane, were you pleasantly surprised at some of the suggestions that your content contributor put together? What's your name again?
Teresa Delaney.
Teresa Delaney. So shout out to Teresa for putting together this list, TucsonFoodie.com. So the headline reads, the 10 plus places to meet somebody for a first date. Now, of course, you can do the traditional like coffee shop if you want to be lame, but you really want to go to a bar to kind of like break the ice, catch a little buzz. But it's very important that that bar has atmosphere. That gives you, yeah, that's what it's all about, right? You want to be able to talk and have good conversation. But if the setting is there, then the mood might be right to take that meeting to another level. So what's our first destination on this list that you want to talk about?
Bay Horse Tavern. Have you been?
Not yet, but this one is right down the street for me. So this is number one on my list that I'm going to check out for sure.
Sometimes you just want to go casual, and that's what the Bay Horse is all about.
Yeah, so there's history to the Bay Horse Lounge, right? Or a tavern?
Yeah, it was established in 1948, and it's under that sign on Grant Road. What sign is that?
It's like a horse.
It's a landmark sign. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's got a lot of character. And
I'm going to show you this picture.
Yeah.
Here's the sign. Yeah, because
okay.
I didn't even know. I mean, it basically looks like a VFW lounge. I'm going to be honest with you.
The best.
Yeah, because the brick building, and here's the picture of it on the podcast broadcast stream. I'm sorry, that's not it. Sorry. It's right here. You recognize this, Rico? I'm sure you do.
Everybody knows.
Oh, I'm
sign.
sure. Yeah, I've seen that sign.
Yes. So
how funny.
It
does look like a VFW, just brick house.
Yeah, with the little vinyl side on the outside. Now check out this vinyl side. This is why this vinyl sign. This is what had me sold. First off, the description had me sold too, because it sounds like they haven't renovated the place since they opened it in 1948, which is going to be rustic, right? You can almost smell the stories when you walk into the bar, I'm assuming. And the sign says, okay, gas, $4.69 a gallon. Of course, this was made a little while ago. Domestic beer, $3. Well drinks, $4. Half pitcher of PBR, $3. I'm like, yo, pictures of PBR? I'm in. And then it says, don't drink and drive, or drink, don't drive. So it was a very responsible vinyl banner underneath a very rustic sign that was rustic. Probably, rustic is my key word for this. But yeah, super cool. Right down the street from Kingfisher and Dante's Fire, right there on Grant. So that's a nice spot for a first date. What's another one on this list?
Have you been to the Monica, the new spot on Congress?
I have.
Part of the Charo family. Yeah. Yeah,
Rico and I actually went for knife fight for the final there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was there for that too. I didn't know you, so we were just strangers in the crowd.
Whoa.
Oh, so yeah, we must have walked past each other. Yeah, it was good. I was actually a judge for that. Were you judging?
No,
they messed up.
I'm not that cool.
Oh,
he was wearing a tunic in the crowd, all mysterious.
You're more into the food scene than I am, Beef.
Well, here, I'll give you a tip. Name yourself after food, and you'll get invited to these things.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
I kind of took a shortcut. But the Monica, is beautiful as well, because they took an old building, they modernized it, and then they created this excellent patio setting in between two very tall historic brick buildings.
Yeah, huge space. A lot of the great food options. Plant-based, keto, gluten-free, all the good stuff you'd expect from the Charo family.
Yeah.
It's a cool spot, and it's brand new.
Yeah, and shout out to Chef Gary, who you also feature as one of the 15 Instagram pages to follow for foodies out there, because Gary's always posting the food porn and also parody videos of D in the Box with Rico. So be on the lookout for that. All right, what is number 3 on your list?
This is probably where I would take my first date. This is Owl's Club, the darkest bar in Tucson. It's so dark in there. They understand lighting. I think every bar in town's too bright, except Owl's Club.
Right. Yeah, that's true. You do need a nice, good, dark setting to just kind of set the mood, and that leads to great conversations over spirits. And you've been to this place numerous times. What are some other aspects of the Owls Club that you're a fan of?
Well, it's beautiful. It's in an old mortuary right there on Scott, the Brings Mortuary building. So it's kind of got this Gothic aesthetic. The bartenders are awesome. Drinks are always delicious. First time I went in was also happened to be the night where the Tucson Satan worshiper group was meeting up. So I walk in, everybody's got horns on their head and crazy piercings and implants. And I was like, oh my God, is this the Blade party I've been looking for my whole life?
Finally.
Right. You're looking
The
at
blood showers come down.
you're looking to set off the sprinklers just to see if it's red. Yeah.
What was crazy, everybody in that part of that club was like, hi, how you doing? I'm Steve. Pleasure to meet you. Super nice people.
The politest Satan worshipers you ever came across.
Very nice.
Look at my neck. It's really sweet, isn't it? Just bite it.
That's awesome. So the Owls Club is on the list, and we're talking about places to take a first date according to TucsonFoodie.com. What's number 4 on your list here?
Okay, yeah, I'll give you 2 more. The Shelter.
Yes, the shelter.
Yep.
The shelter's a place to take a date where you know you're going to get laid on that first date, right? Like, yeah, that's a home run bar right there. That's my experience, anyways. I've heard from friends.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I haven't been able to pull that one off yet either.
It's a weird building too because it is somewhat circular, and
it's cool.
Yeah, it is a trip. It has character, and it's been around
it's
forever.
Dark. How would you describe that place? Like velvet on the walls and old art?
Well, I mean, I would describe it as hippily outdated.
Yeah, it's old school.
David Lynch would have a drink there.
Yes, that's a great way to describe it.
Thank
you, Rico.
You're absolutely. Now the sign is new on the outside, but it says here in the Tucson Foodie piece, don't let it fool you. They haven't remodeled anything since 1961 on the inside. So you are walking into almost history.
That's what it feels like. There's like JFK paintings all over the wall. But, I do think they dust everything in there because it doesn't feel gross.
No, it's clean. It's a very clean place. And
dirty clean.
It's definitely the destination. And you always see like cars in the parking lot in the morning at the shelter. And you know that those are the ones that had such a good time that they had to Uber home.
I've done that. I did that on Christmas Eve.
Oh, there
and
you
I'm
go.
a responsible father.
Nice. Did you have to pay a double for getting a ride home on Christmas Eve with Uber?
I'm sure it was surge pricing.
Oh, yes.
It was called the embarrassment hour.
Succinctly put.
Right. And what is the final one on your top 5 from the 10 plus spots to take a first date according to TucsonFoodie.com?
Okay. We'll go with the Tough Luck Club this time.
Oh,
under Riley.
Yeah. Do you know about the Tough Luck Club there, Rico?
I've heard a thing or two.
Yeah. I mean, you could go there first off, it's a basement bar. They have signature cocktails, which is great. And I heard that the bouncer's a pretty good looking dude. Right. That will accept and appreciate a 5 spot every now and then just for the courteous service. Huh?
10.
Oh,
10 spot.
Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of greedy there. But yeah, the Tough Luck Club. What do you like?
Pricing.
What do you like about the Tough Luck Club besides the bouncer there, Shane?
The feeling, it's underground. It feels sort of like a hidden gem. You kind of walk down into it. There's like stone walls. It feels like I think it's an old mortuary's embalming room.
Well, why do we keep getting drunk in places where we used to store dead bodies?
It's Tucson.
Tucson's goth, man.
All right, nice. Love it. Well, see, that's only 5, but there's actually more than 10, and you can see the rest of that list at TucsonFoodie.com as we're hanging out with Shane from Tucson Foodie. We have more that we're going to cover here on the podcast broadcast, and we return. Rico posted this, and it made a post talking about how Big D energy should be a phrase that we keep in 2022. I actually put together a list of other words that need to be banished in 2023 that we'll go through. We'll see which ones you agree with and so much more with Shane for Tucson Foodie. So you can join us, youtube.com/bevegan, or keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. There you go. Yeah, Tough Luck Club. And sold it. Sold the Tough Luck Club, Rico.
Because I don't want people giving me 5 spots all the time. Actually, I do.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
All right. Well, next time. See, I put it at the end.
I just don't want somebody to lose on the radio, then come see me like, hey, I should have got that prize.
What are they going to do? You work out.
They're going to beat me up.
You work out.
There's 5. It's a tiny little stairwell, and there's probably going to be 5 of them.
Are you telling me
that want Nickelback tickets?
You're the scariest looking bitch that I know?
Maybe.
Yeah, what kind of bouncer are you, man?
The guy that follows the rules of Roadhouse, bro. The Patrick Swayze rules.
Those Patrick Swayze rules mean like breaking those first, ask questions later.
No, you didn't watch the movie, bro.
No, you didn't watch a movie.
You didn't watch the
Shit,
movie.
it's been a while. Okay, so what was it? Make love to the hot bartender, then ask questions later?
He's trying to cool him down. He's like, be nice until
de-escalate.
it's time to be mean. De-escalate.
Yeah.
I'm always the guy to de-escalate. I like how the bartender gets almost in a fight. I have to be the guy, hey. Boys,
We're all friends here.
take it easy.
Yeah, my memory of Roadhouse, I guess, is a little blurred, and I should watch it again. I think it's on Netflix right now.
It's an annual rewatch for sure.
Yeah. Well, because I think the reason why my memory is misconstrued is because I worked at a bar that they called like the Roadhouse of the West Side. But see, our bouncers, they didn't diffuse fights. In fact, actually, they kind of started them. They were the type of bouncers where, they were
Smash a bottle for no reason.
Yeah, they were dropping people left and right, man. It was brutal. And I mean, we had a game that I didn't enjoy playing. It was called the Taser game. And this is where they would just come up to you when you were not expecting it whatsoever and then tase you, which always sucks. And it's always in creative places too.
Wow.
Yeah, the worst place to
Lovely.
get the worst place to get tased when you're not expecting it, by the way, is behind the kneecap.
Oh.
Yeah, because guess what happens?
You buckle.
You go right back. Yeah, you drop faster than Entercom's. Well, that's an inside joke, but Entercom stock prices, which it's a radio thing. Nobody fucking cares about that.
You just try to inside jokers with a stock.
I know.
I didn't expect that from you,
I didn't
Dave.
either. That was great.
Yeah. What? You didn't know?
No, I didn't expect any sort of reference to any sort of financial markets or any intellectual topic beef, given your name
Well,
and
it's true.
the way you look. And
I'll give you another tip. Never take financial advice from a guy in his 40s wearing a hoodie and backwards hat. It's just
with a picture of himself behind him on the wall
Hey, I'm covering that up there, Shane. Covering that up.
with your face.
With my own face, yes.
You get the angle just right every morning.
By the way, our buddy Jacob is asking you, Shane, to check your emails. He signed up for the Tucson Foodie 500, but he's hitting you up. So when you get a chance, be on the lookout for Jacob from Held Out. He's a good dude, and he's a foodie, and he's one of. Did you sell out of the 500, by the way?
No, we're like at 120.
Oh well, we'll keep pushing that Tucson Foodie 500. Push it. Yeah. But yeah. So Jacob's like, hey, I'm on it, but where am I at? So
Okay, we just got shirts in. Those
nice.
will be mailed out soon.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then part of that is you get all these kind of discounts and heads up everywhere, right?
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
In fact, hopefully Jake will be hopefully Jake's patience will grow because we promised over $1,000 in gift cards from local restaurants for your money. It's looking closer to 2 these days. Yeah, a lot of restaurants have been jumping on board.
That's good. And is that food trucks as well?
No, I haven't, and no food trucks, zero.
You don't know any food trucks?
Oh, I know all the food trucks. I just
Yeah.
haven't asked them. I just make this assumption. I should go start asking some that they can't really offer discounts. Their profit margins are lower. Their pricing is lower.
But their cost is lower too. So I would assume the opposite, you know? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because with brick and mortar, there's a thing called rent.
Overhead.
Yeah. But
True.
yeah.
Lots of bricks and lots of mortars.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We gotta hit the reset here. We're gonna be back with more live Beef Vegan Presents. Earlier this morning, we did our Freaks of the Week, which actually led into a discovery that we did off air. In case you missed it, went a little something like that. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That, of course, is Evanescence would bring me to life, and I want to just give a congratulations to this dude named Rod. You know, because he was able to find love again after getting his heart broken. And we all know that's a very difficult thing to do, you know. And I believe that most of us out there listening have had their heart broken. And some it takes months, some it takes years. What's the longest you've had your heart broken, Enrico?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. All right, you're cold-blooded, man. Well, the way that Rod bounced back is he found love in another object. He's an Australian carpenter who went shopping after a breakup when his fiance left him lonely. And that's not an unusual thing to do in a situation. But in this case, Rod went shopping for a sex doll. And then he took it a step further and decided to introduce his new $3,000 companion to his 85-year-old mother during Christmas. Oh, yes. The holidays are never awkward around Rod and his family. As you can imagine, his mom wasn't on board with the idea. According to Rod, his mom started treating Karina like a long-lost daughter. Oh, whoa. Yeah. So this was at first. So she wasn't on board at first, but then started treating Karina like his long lost daughter. And I'd be concerned about Rod's mother, like getting dementia or something. So Rod bought another doll named Lauren. This guy, he's insatiable, who he says is a daydreamer and Karina's sister. And now has a long distance relationship with a woman named Jenny in Vietnam. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Rod's ex-fiance really ruined him.
Or made him a legend.
Maybe. Now, Karina is an Instagram star. She's blowing up, getting lots of followers. He says he uses his spare time to bathe, dress, and pamper his dolls. Take pictures of them. And then since he started the Instagram account showing off Karina's modeling shots, that's getting more followers than me. On Instagram.
No, we're doing something wrong here, bro.
Right. I need to become a sex doll just to get more viability and
careful.
Yeah, more value on social media. I don't know if they'll ever sell a beef vegan sex doll. Why would they? It's like a body pillow with it
smells like Taco Bell hot sauce.
Yeah, it smells like Taco Bell hot sauce for real. So here's what we're going to do. This is going to be a bonus that we're going to play on our podcast broadcast and our podcast on Spotify. I got a bunch of comments here that are on Karina's Instagram page, which I'll show you this picture real quick. You can see Karina. She looks a little too young for my tasting. I would like my sex dolls to at least be 20 years of age. And I'm talking about the actual product in silicone. But yeah, you're going to see this on the podcast broadcast. We're going to read through these raunchy comments because the internet is savage AF. We got your F My Life's coming up next. Plus, we got another round of Tap Out with Tucson games and gadgets. So much more. So keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right, so here's the deal. We just went off the air, and we're on the podcast broadcast stream. So here are some of the comments just on this post, okay? Yeah. Now, the heading is, it's lovely to have some fresh air with a heart. That's what Karina wrote. Of course, Karina didn't write this. Rod wrote this.
You don't know that.
I'm assuming that she didn't write this, okay? So Heather wrote, she's really pretty and very lifelike looking, but she really needs wider hips and a torso to be more realistic.
Oh my God. The feminists had to flock immediately, didn't they?
Right. Wider hips. Like, that's why he traded his fiance for the sex doll. All right. So Mikey wrote, get help. That's just direct. And then the D says, does it have an evac pump for the sludge?
Oh, that's a good question, though.
That is an excellent question. And yeah, it definitely.
How many followers are we talking here?
Let's go to
2 million ones.
It's going to be more than me. 12.4 thousand.
About to be 12.5, baby.
And here's Rod.
How happy he looks, though.
He does look happy. He has, first off, 3 smoking hot silicone girlfriends who don't talk back. Damn. Yeah. And here's a picture of Karina. Showing off some butt, and apparently I have to log into my Instagram page for this, and I'll do so, and we'll continue this live on the podcast broadcast a little bit later on. But there's a link tree. Does Karina have an OnlyFans?
I bet she does.
She fucking does.
Dude, I wonder if there's rules on OnlyFans about like your sex doll having an account.
What? Did you have to give him like a percentage?
No, I mean like literally if that's allowed.
He has a brothel.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah. He has Karina's OnlyFans and Lauren's OnlyFans. How much is he charging? Let's find out.
Good God.
Yeah, you're not.
What if he's just a business genius? He's like, it's not really his life. He's just like, I'm gonna pretend like I have a sex doll and watch me rake it in.
You could subscribe for free.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm gonna be following a sex doll on OnlyFans. Yeah.
There's no return here, man. Careful.
Absolutely no return, but that's all right. Yeah, I'm an investigative journalist, so this is technically a write-off.
Hey, Beef, you seem quiet lately. What's going on?
I fell in love with the sex doll.
All it takes, I swear to God, he has a group of friends if he does, and it's going to take one bad night with tequila to have him accusing her of cheating.
Yeah, that's coming next. So, all right. Well, there you go. Your freak of the week. Congratulations, Rod. You sick pig. Rock 102.1. Well, no, we're not on the air yet.
Okay.
Rock and roll
sorry.
station, whatever.
All right, so that was our freaks of the week. You saw the sex dolls that we were showcasing on there that have OnlyFans pages, and I wonder how many sex doll OnlyFans pages there are. I'm sure
You weren't
it's
able to look into it. Did you sign up for hers?
No, I did not. I
Oh.
did not sign up for hers. I'm not on OnlyFans, but I know there's ways around being able to see that kind of content, especially if it's free. But I will say at least it's free. And this guy, terrible business. This carpenter guy, the guy that we did the story on, he spent $3,000 for his first sex doll, and then he takes pictures of her, posted on OnlyFans for free. Like what? How are you gonna make your money back, dude? I know you're trying to justify like per orgasm, it's only like $1, per O, but
He's thinking 10 years ahead. He wants to like patent the actual model and then sell those.
it's pretty freaky.
Mm.
Yeah, and Shane, of course, you don't know what we're talking about because we weren't listening to that segment.
I'm
so,
glad.
Yeah,
You are
that's
very
fair.
happy.
That's
trust
fair.
me.
Yeah, okay,
You're a way better man than us right now.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, we already fapped twice to these pictures of a sex doll. So, all right.
Oh God.
In here? Like in here? Like earlier?
Yeah,
You don't smell the candle you lit?
Before I walked in?
All right. Well, we're going to be covering the words that should be non-existent in 2023, and that's because Rico posted something now. I think I'll show you here in a little bit that you think big dick energy should be a phrase that we leave in the past, huh?
I think it's overused.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, I get that all the time too. Like, oh, you got big dick energy.
Big
Like,
dick
yeah,
energy.
Yeah, I know.
Penis.
Yeah, no one has average dick energy. It's one or the other. It goes one extreme to the other, but they don't give you that. You have that.
Well, women love to say like the small dick energy thing. He's got small dick energy.
Yes, women do like to say that. All right, here's Rico's. I want to do your photo dump of the day before we go into our segment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The meme collection
Yes.
every Sunday.
So this one, guy with TV on head leaves old TVs on front porches of homes. I actually saw this. This is a real story.
That's a real story.
Yes.
So weird.
With the meme saying my goals are beyond your understanding. Yeah, it's very odd. It's a very odd thing to be known for. This is a book that I definitely got to put on my read
I
list.
know. I'm looking on Amazon for this one.
Yeah, the Jewish, Japanese sex and cookbook and how to raise wolves. I mean, it just covers it all. Essentially, this book is like a moral of most of my segments when I get all ADD, right? It's like talk about this, talk about that.
I need it.
And how to raise wolves while we're at it. And then this is Scarlet Witch, and this is her two twins, but it said, okay, draw a baby. Just draw a baby. Sure, you got this. Draw a baby. How hard can it be? Look at that grown-ass man, baby. All right,
Comic book artist weakness. I can't draw babies.
Yes, we're doing Rico's photo dumps here on the podcast broadcast, joined by Shane from TucsonFoodie.com. There you can find the list, not only the 10 plus spots that take a first date, but you got so much more that's been being posted daily. You guys are rocking and rolling into the new year already. And they got the Tucson Foodie 500 still happening. So if you want to be a member of that club, what are the incentives of being a Foodie 500 member?
It's $60 a month. And you get over $1,000 in gift cards from local restaurants. You get invited to quarterly industry-only parties, so you can hang out with chefs and business owners.
Nice.
You get a T-shirt, Tucson Foodie T-shirt, which you can't just buy, right? It's super special.
Right.
You get 50% off all of our festivals, and we have 10 large festivals planned next year. You get early access to buy tickets to all of our Tucson Foodie Presents dinners and foodie experiences.
And you're doing a lot of those too. So, I
Wow.
mean, this calendar year is loading up for you, right?
It's going to be a crazy year.
Yeah, I love it, dude.
Foodie year.
I'm excited about it. All right. So real quick, again, I'm scatterbrained. I'm all over. So we're talking about foodies. Have you seen The Menu? The movie, The Menu?
Love that
I watched
movie.
it 2 nights ago.
Right.
Amazing.
Isn't this a great like foodie movie, but also take it to the extreme?
All I wanted to do after was get a cheeseburger.
Yeah, exactly. American cheese melts best because it never cracks.
Isn't
Right?
Ralph Fiennes like literally one of the most underrated comedic actors of all time now? That guy is.
I mean,
good in that.
comedic. I mean,
good.
yeah, I guess there
He
were
was
some
great in
funny
that.
moments, but he was also terrifying.
Yeah.
And The Menu essentially turns foodies on their heads, or in a way where it's basically a story of a chef that has lost all his joy from being a world-class chef because of the people who take it too seriously,
Mhm.
right?
Don't spoil it.
Oh, well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all. That's
Okay,
all I
good.
said.
Don't
Yeah,
that.
I mean, there's so many other like twists and turns and trying to figure out what's going on
It's amazing.
throughout the entire movie that it was fantastic. So there's a recommendation for you. If you've not seen it, it's in theaters and HBO Max. But I'm just like, oh, and that one foodie dude. Ooh, yeah, yeah. I know it's terrible
I know
radio.
5 of
where-
those.
yeah, exactly. I feel like that guy too, where I'm like, oh, it tastes like this. Oh,
You know, the air pockets inside of the submarine sandwiches. I'm like, beef.
yeah, exactly. Like I know what you're doing, but I don't know how to do it. And yeah, so anyways, that's my movie recommendation of 2023. Speaking of this year, right? We're in a new year, so we need to do things new. And sometimes it's great to hit a reset on some of our vocabulary that we feel like is hip and slang. I mean, remember bling? And talking about the bling.
Bling bling.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Bling.
Well, that was we were over it and we moved forward.
Okay.
Just like the Izzles and other slang. So Rico made an argument on Instagram that BDE, Big D energy, is something that should be left in the past. We should get over that. Everyone's used it way too much, especially referring to Pete Davidson. So there are other phrases in 2023 that we should not be using. All right. So these are popular phrases that were made extremely popular in 2022 and that we're just over. Okay. So first on my list here is quiet quitting. All right. Quiet quitting has been a term that people are talking about. It's almost like ghosting on a thing, but quiet quitting is when you're still employed, you're still showing up for work, you're still getting a paycheck, you're just not putting in any effort whatsoever. Now, quiet quitting does suck as an employer. For an employee, but it's just a bad look if you're that employee. If you're not happy with where you're at, you should just pack up and move on. But more importantly, just stop saying quiet quitting. I call it like giving up, right? All right, maybe not.
No, I'm with you.
Mm,
I think people have been quiet quitting for decades.
exactly.
They
It's
have.
not new.
I know they just coined the phrase though. It seems like the phrase is something new that I haven't heard before. Much like atmospheric river. Is something that's been around for a while, like
That's a
rain's
real
been
thing.
around.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but now it's a phrase that we're saying a lot. The
Okay.
news is, yeah. By the way, 2023, the phrase is atmospheric river whenever we get a buttload of rain.
Yeah.
All right, GOAT. Is it time for the GOAT to be retired? The greatest of all time? Referring to everybody as the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Right.
LeBron is the GOAT.
Retire it.
Yeah, retire it. It's being used way too much, way too often in circumstances where there's no way the person or the individual being referenced is the greatest of all time. First off, your references is only the last 20 years. You don't know like the thousands and thousands of years that we've been existing on this planet. It's pretty extreme saying GOAT.
So we've overused it. Now it's meaningless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like everything else. You ruin everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Exactly. That's why when I tried to say a common phrase, I usually mispronounce it or say it incorrectly. That way it's not really overusing it. I make it my own just by not knowing how to say it properly.
I'm going to start saying VG from now on.
VG4.
He's VG. Very good.
Okay, nice.
Guys, VG.
Yo, this food is so VG.
Honestly,
So very good.
I can see this catching on. I can see it catching
It's
on as
VG,
far as
bro.
slang, and we might have to make that part of the vernacular for BVP.
VG.
BVP is VG. All right. We're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. We got beef tip and more coming up after music from the Offspring. So keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear.
Hey, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Chef Gary and his Instagram page is stellar. In fact, actually, I'm surprised I didn't get the video sent directly to me for steak in a box. Now,
Oh, I'm
Gary did
sorry.
this before New Year's. Uh-huh. And Rico produced it. Now, this is Gary's
Really?
stoner brainchild, right? And whether he was stoned or not. This
I
seems
love it
like-
how it came together. It was beautiful.
I want to see
Yes.
this.
Oh, you're in luck because I'm going to show it to you right now. This is Steak in a Box from Chef Gary, produced by Rico and his brother Taylor.
Oh,
I'm so lucky
man.
Taylor was in town.
Yes,
The
you
audio
are.
engineering.
Yeah, because
When did
I've
this
heard
drop?
you saying it's not as great, but with a great producer and who
Mhm.
knows how to use autotune, things work out
It's like
well.
Timberland.
Yeah.
AF. Manny, people say AF instead of as fuck. They actually say it. They say
Yeah.
AF.
Oh yes.
I've never heard that.
Well, we
I'm
say
not
it on
okay
the,
with it.
we say it on the radio sometimes.
agree.
Disavow this.
Agree.
but I've heard people say it in normal context.
Well, you
too.
have to on the radio.
Yes.
It's not VG.
VG, seriously, we're making a thing. I like VG. I like the way that sounds. I'll start throwing it around my high school daughter and see if she picks up on it or if it makes her cringe. We'll see.
And then when she's like, what's that? You'd be like, you haven't heard of that?
You haven't heard VG?
Wow.
You fucking nerd.
You know what that means. It's time to give someone special, something very special, and grass-fed.
Not gonna shop on Amazon. I'm not boring, I'm a lot more fun. Not gonna go to the state fair. A love like yours is medium rare. Not gonna get you a new iPhone. Not until I give you my T-bone. Not gonna take you to climb some rocks. Need something special, girl. A steak in a box. You gotta cook that steak. You gotta grill that steak. Step 3. You put that steak in a box. Step 4. You have her open that box. Steak in a box, baby.
I'm Chef Gary, and I semi-approve this message.
He said semi.
It's your boy, Chef Gary.
So that was Gary's idea to promote.
Hey, what, you want to do steak in a box? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
And Rico went all out too. He did great as far as being in character and dancing around. No shame when the camera's on. All shame when the camera's off. The guy, is very reserved when there's no camera. But then you're like, hey, can you put on a suit and then emulate steak in a box?
Well, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, so
it's funny too with that whole thing because I know when Dina Box came out, we were on off air, right?
Oh yeah, we're on the podcast.
VG, bro.
Yeah, it's very
yeah. Dick in a Box came out, all the annoying parodies that happened, and in like 2 years, everybody's over it.
Right.
The secret is wait like 10 years for that to stop, and then you bring it back.
Yeah, and it did catch people by surprise.
10 years.
Yeah, people were like, "Oh, you know what? I love that concept again." And I thought it was very good, funny, cheesy.
I was laughing too. I really thought he was selling like a steak in a box deal for the holidays. I was hoping, and he's like, "No."
Are you kidding me? He's not doing steak in a box.
He should have done steak in a box.
So he was just doing it as a promotion for
fun for Charo. Yeah. Which I thought was so funny. I'm like, I really thought we're promoting a product called Steak in a Box. Like, we're gonna sell so many steak in boxes. He's like, I don't know.
You can't actually get one, buddy. Sorry. I mean, for you,
for me. I know. Me and my brother afterwards were like, we did that the shot of the T-bone steak, and he grilled it for us, like the top edge, and we're like, we're really hungry right now. Like, we didn't ask him, but afterwards, like, what's he gonna do with that T-bone steak?
Wait, you didn't even ask him for the steak?
I asked him for the steak.
Dude, Gary would have hooked you up with the steak.
Maybe he will. But I was laughing with Taylor. We're like, what happened to that steak? That was a good T-bone.
I'm sure he ate it.
He probably ate it.
He probably
ate it in the box.
Gary, let us
thinking about you.
Yeah, Gary, let us know. But yeah,
what happened to the T-bone?
He definitely missed out on an opportunity to sell steak in a box. I think he would have at least sold 100 boxes.
I know, branded and everything, put his face on there.
Yeah,
a gold chain with it.
And Chef Gary was, one of these local chefs that actually did well in COVID, where and Rocco was one of them. A lot of our friends, but you saw, initially when there was food shortages of sorts at the grocery store and people were afraid to go out, the restaurants figured out very quickly, like, hey, we have all this stuff here. We could just sell to-go boxes. They can make it at home. And I know that Charo was one of those places leading the charge and giving you also cuts of meat that are better quality than you can get your grocery store anyways. So I kind of wish COVID would come back just for that. Sorry.
Wow.
I know. I said it. I don't regret it. Real quick, of course, it was a historic week in Congress as they were trying to elect a new Speaker of the House. But for the first time in over 100 years, that didn't happen on the very first try. It actually took them 14 tries. And there was a lot of conflict and drama happening inside Congress. But unfortunately, when C-SPAN is covering these events, it's muted cameras. You can't hear what's going on. Well, luckily for us, there are expert lip readers out there.
Oh,
yes.
Love it.
Oh, yes. And somebody put together this expert lip reading that I want to share with you. Check this out.
Son, what does a gopher build? Can you say it? Well, who knows? A really rich doctor said you were a bummer. And I think you don't know algebra. No, we're talking science, bud. The science of what? Is that a tiger? One of your friends promised me I could flick you in your face. Absolutely, you may not do that.
Hit him in his cringy smirk for real.
Say any cereal name. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You're like people in the 12th century. Why'd he say it like that? You're a formulated pickle
Worse than
popper.
that, he's a storm cloud.
I don't like you, dude. And there's a tiger. That's it. You two guys sent the tiger.
I
What?
did
No.
not me.
What
I mean-
tiger? That's
I mean,
that is reprehensible.
okay, yeah. Okay,
Brad?
I'm a horrible person.
Brad, I'll report you to Nadine. I just want your leg bones to be okay. I brought the tiger.
Look at that face.
You got somebody on the organ now? Hey man, you're gonna pay for dinner. You're gonna pay. No.
There you go. So luckily for us, we got expert lip readers out there putting together
my
internet gold like
God.
that. It was fantastic. So
That's like old internet gold right there.
oh yes.
Oh, the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Bringing it back. So very
you're gonna
historic.
pay for dinner, grabs. Oh, it's
Oh.
so good.
Beef, I just had somebody send me an exclusive on a new restaurant opening.
Oh, where at?
You want me to drop it first?
Play the
Yeah.
sound effect. Play the
It's a
sound
place called Blue Front. You heard
Blue
about
Front.
this? You want me to do it here on the stream?
You want to do a stream or on the air?
Oh, what do you want?
We could do. Well, let's do it on the stream because we still have like 2 minutes. So
Okay.
all right. So Blue Front, what location?
It's on Congress.
Okay.
It's in the old 1055 brewing spot. You know that spot?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, that's a pretty nice building, and it. Well, yeah, it's a nice building because that's brick, and they also have that patio right in front of it as well.
Yeah, they've kind of redone the patio.
Yeah.
Seen that.
Actually, I was sorely disappointed that they went out of business because
They're
the
not out
setup.
of business. Not
Oh.
true. 1055 actually makes the vast majority of its money on retail. They're selling cans.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
So they moved locations. I was
Yeah.
like,
Well, they're still without a home.
oh, they're still without a home.
They're still hunting for their new spot.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what is this blue spot all about then?
Blue Front.
Front.
It's going to be a take on classic American dishes like meatloaf sandwiches, fried okra, Cobb salad. There are some vegan options in there, but it's by the same owners of Penka,
Okay,
right? Which is delicious. So I expect it to be delicious.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I mean, I love that setup already. It's awesome. It's difficult for whatever reason for that location and that strip to I mean, continue to stay busy every single day of the week, right?
That's
Downtown needs to continue to resurge. We just went to Thunder Bacon Burger Company on 4th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they shut down. But the good news with Thunder Bacon
They're moving.
is, just to another location. So that was great. I saw Chef Gary there actually when I went
Nice.
there on Saturday, the last day there to
What a
pay-
dude.
pay
Just
my
supporting
respects.
Oh, yeah.
the local scene. What a
That's
dude.
it. Well, Chef Michael, from Mama's Italian, and also the
Elefante.
Guido Barbecue. Yeah, Michael
Yeah,
Elefante.
just opened Guido Q.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they went there to just actually they thought Thunder Bacon was going out of business altogether, right? So, welcome back to Rock 102.1 KFMA. So, Chef Gary and Chef Michael Elefante actually went to Thunder Bacon Burger Company with the intention of just making a donation to help out Lindy, because of course Lindy from Thunder Bacon Burger Company had some health issues earlier in the year, and this what led to money getting tight and them looking for a better location. But the silver lining was for everyone involved is that Thunder Bacon Burger Company is not going out of business. They're just changing locations, and they'll announce that location soon. And Chef Gary and Chef Michael didn't have to make a donation. They just had to buy a burger. So we're good to go all the way around. But it was good to see them as well, of course, showing their love. And I was doing the same. I went there and I was like, well, I was afraid that he was shutting down for good. So I'm like, give me one last
that was the
fix.
impression I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any word on where they're reopening?
Yeah, I know the general area, but
Okay.
there's nothing I can mention right
Official?
now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's how we do things. And then of course, just on the podcast broadcast stream, Shane from TucsonFoodie.com just announced this exclusive information. There's a new restaurant opening up in the old location in 1055 on Congress, and that's called again
Blue Front.
Blue Front, and that's from the owners of
Penka.
yes, which is going to do classic American dishes, upscale-ish, like
Yep.
meatloaf sandwiches and stuff, which you had me a meatloaf sandwich, to be
Meatloaf
honest.
sandwich, fried okra. Mhm.
Yeah, mac and cheese.
Opening January 16th.
Oh, damn.
Monday.
Yep.
Newsflash.
Yeah. What? Is there any media invites? You know, you got to let people know, Shane.
You're hearing it first.
Oh,
No, you're hearing it first. We're about to drop an article, or maybe we just did like 10 seconds ago about it.
Nice.
We got the exclusive, so yeah.
But, you know, being a part of the media, sometimes they do soft opens where they give people in the media.
Oh, yeah, there's a soft opening happening this week. Maybe I'll give you an invitation, buddy. You wanna come? Okay.
I like free food and judging people.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can bring you in.
All right, good. That's good.
Meatloaf sandwich.
Yeah, you have me a meatloaf. As long as they have that meatloaf sandwich. Like Mojo is a Cuban place. Mojo, sorry. On Grant. And I was lucky enough to be invited to that just so I could butcher their name live on the air. And I got their chicken dish, which is good. But I also let the owners know that I'm actually a Cuban sandwich connoisseur. And it would be pretty ideal of them to give me 2 entrees just so I could tell them how good their Cuban sandwich was. And they were kind enough to feed my fat face and say, okay, we got you. So I had a chicken entree and I had a Cuban sandwich just because I needed to be able to see how good everything was. And it's fantastic. So Mojo, check them out on Grant.
Mojo.
Yeah, whatever. You tell them I sent you, and then I call it Mojo. They'll get a kick out of that. Yeah. We got your beef tip coming up after these words. Keeping the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. Clear.
Mr. Mojo Rising.
I don't know why I went all like Spanish. I'm like, yeah. It's obviously, I'm just going to say the J is an H. You know. Like,
I won't tell the next door station. Don't worry.
Yeah, my boy.
Don't tell him.
Yeah. It's good to know. All right. Well, let's before we move into the beef tip, which I got a graphic for, by the way, which we got to get a Tucson Foodie graphic, like I was saying before. So Powers, Tucson Foodie graphic when you get a chance.
Okay.
Yeah. So you'll see these. So you see the corner. So I got my logo. Say subscribe here. So when we did tap out, we'll tap out. Boom. When we do the last word, boom. Herb Stratford's friend of ours when he comes in. We've got our Florida Man logo. And these are all PNGs. Just lay it right on top. So
you got to get a cartoon Shane head.
Oh, I'd love one.
Yeah.
I've always wanted one of those.
Really?
Yeah.
I got you.
Well, yeah, actually, and Rico does got you because Rico downloaded this new AI app, right?
No, it's not really an app, but you have to go to a website.
Oh,
you have to go
do some AI art.
Yeah. So what is the AR? What's the website?
It's Midjourney. You go to Midjourney, and I think you have like 7 tries for free, and then you have to pay for a monthly subscription type thing. But
I like how you say it, like everyone should know. You know, it's almost
that's
like
what's weird about being in a bubble with tech stuff nowadays. I'm just like, I assume everybody's on the same page because every YouTube video I'm watching now is all about making new business happen with AI, you know, coding and art and things. I'm like, everybody knows about this, right? And everybody's like, no.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and this is fair game for single guys out there doing the online dating. Every single photo that you come across from the opposite sex usually has some kind of filter on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So fair game, turn it about, get your art done AI. Most of my average looking friends look exceptionally good utilizing this software program. And I'm looking at you, Justin Spears. He posted a bunch of stuff where I'm like, goddamn
on
model.
Tinder, the girl's like, oh yeah, he's definitely a future Viking on a mountain with a lightsaber.
Right.
Totally.
So here's Rico's. And Shane, you should do the same thing if you're looking for this kind of art.
Oh my God.
Yes. This is just one of many. And again, you said the software or the website's called?
It's Midjourney. There's a few out there, but yeah, I mean, there's that app that came out that uses the same technology for free, and then they charge people $10 for it, which is hilarious.
Yeah, so
genius.
So what do you do to process this? You upload a couple selfies, or you take a couple selfies?
Yeah, I mean, usually just if you want, you can just type in a prompt for anything, and it'll come up with anything you want. But if you want yourself inserted into it, you upload a photo to the server, and then it just takes your
just one photo.
Could be anything. Yeah.
Like okay. What was the photo that you uploaded?
I forgot. It was just
what was your description that you put in for this AR to
I think it was like you can type in the thing is there's so many videos out there telling you can really sort of finesse wording a certain way. Like you can type in cinematic 4K, ray aliasing, all these different like nerd terms to like get photography just right. Okay. Or you can type in futuristic, you know, cyberpunk, you know, or steam, like this one was like steampunk, you know, future dystopia type thing. And it churns out these crazy images.
And yeah, the pig nose. I don't know what they did.
No,
there.
it's like a robotic device or something.
Okay.
It's wild, man. We're in the future. It's nuts.
Well, no, I mean this character's in the future. Yeah, you're in the present, fapping to yourself in the future
with a robot arm.
Mhm.
Yeah, you had, like Thanos
Ooh.
robot arm. Yeah.
Some cyberpunk.
Look at that.
Oh
some
yeah,
Blade Runner
nice.
vibes.
Damn. Look at that hair.
I know. I kind of want to go to my barber now. Like, I want that.
Yeah.
He liked it too. I was like, probably gonna come to him and be like, dude, I got an idea.
And
Just
then-
have people submit their AI art and do the haircut.
And then you're gonna go to a plastic surgeon.
Yeah, exactly.
Put
I want to look like nose on me. Yeah.
This is the real me.
This is the real me.
Look at this guy. This
Little finger vampire.
right.
little finger vampire.
That's exactly what it looks like.
That's
Wine
great.
glass.
Yeah, but back to this. Yeah, this is a great way. Get that haircut,
I'm
dude.
gonna get that tomorrow. I'm gonna call him up. Be like, dude, give me the cyberpunk.
Man.
Yeah.
Depressed
So-
half Japanese man with the cyberpunk haircut.
But yeah, you could do the same, Shane, if you're looking for pictures like that. Boom.
I got you, son.
I'm
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too
Just
because
want taller hair. I want the hair to be really, really, really tall.
I got you.
VF tall.
yeah, I know we do the video
Wait.
podcast so people know what we
PG.
actually look like, but really we could technically present ourselves like the gorillas and we could just be extremely good looking AI characters of ourselves as we push that out to advertise the show because we'll increase our female listenership at the very least and our male listenership. We do the same with Mari and Weirdo, who are already beautiful girls, but you take them up to another level, that's game on. I'm
You know how like the gorillas are famous because like it's Damon Albarn,
Yes.
whatever behind it, but he has all those avatar characters that represent the band. We can do the same thing.
yes.
Just make us in a cartoon character.
Yeah, we might make us
Ooh.
into cartoon characters for
Moving
sure.
mouths.
Well, yeah, we're just brainstorming as we looked at AI art here on the podcast broadcast, but unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today's show. I'd like to thank our guests, the Shane from Tucson Games and Gadgets, and Shane from TucsonFoodie.com. Thank you for coming in and hanging out with us again. We'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
Here's your beef tip before we head out the door: the 5-to-1 rule for all you relationships out there. If you want to have a successful relationship, they say the 5-to-1 rule is key. And what does that mean? They say for every one negative action, you need 5 positive actions to kind of balance it out. So basically, positive things don't have to be big things, like a smile or a joke is positive enough for every negative. And there's your beef tip. Thank you for listening. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. Around time, I was so close there. I was like, this is really good information. You guys all need it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Fucked up. We're done. See you next time.
I will knock out all your teeth.
Bye, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.